Imagine having 800K in the bank and having absolutely no idea what to do with it. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago that I think it was around 18 would have been my last week of having tough decisions to make, and then I could sort of do what I wanted after that. And last week I was immensely struggled with the decision, and this week is more the same. So yeah, completely underestimated that. I've made a few errors in the last month or so that have sort of compounded into me thinking about doing something heinous. Is that the word? I don't know. But yeah, something very dangerous. And yeah, I might potentially look to not own Herbie Farnworth at all, which is crazy. I'll get into it. I have sort of done a few of my plans so far, so it's not going to be fully off the cuff this video like usual. But I'm still stuck. Don't know what to do. I've got a plan-ish, and it involves not getting Herbie. So there's one trade I want to make. Having Cleary and Yo out this week is is awesome because I don't own either of them. A lot of people picked up Yo last week. A lot of people have Cleary like 70% or something, which is great. But having 800K in the bank is terrible. Like it fucks up all my plans and it's made me so stuck. But the one trade I do want to do is Dylan Lucas for Latrell Mitchell, and that's fine. Like that is locked in 100%. Nothing changes there. Then it's where it gets tough, right? So essentially, Adam Dewey is going to stay in my team for the next couple of weeks at least, and he'll probably determine whether or not I get Herbie, like based on how he goes in the next 2 weeks. But I sort of have to make a decision this week or next week of which direction I go, like if I want to get Herbie or not, because apart from injury, if I do the plans I want to do, there's no way I can get Herbie at his price point. I'll have money in the bank, but not enough to go anyone unless like someone like a Haas, Cleary, I don't know, like the list probably stops there. Kalamatangi maybe. I think I'll have about 120K with my plan. So I need someone about 750K or above to get injured in order for me to go down to that, which is tough. Like I'm sure it'll happen at some stage, but if that's round 25, then it's not great. If it's round 22, that's fine. Like I can get him in earlier, but I don't know. I kind of have to make my trades. I have to spend my money, right? Like I can't have 800K sitting there for another week. And I'll talk about the ones that have compounded my mistakes, I guess. And I don't know if you can call them mistakes, but 50-50 decisions that didn't necessarily go my way that have compounded into not getting Herbie at this stage or making me lean towards not getting him. So I think it was around 17 maybe it was around 18. Yeah, it was around 18 when Jed Stewart scored 19 and I didn't have to, but I wanted to replace him by bringing in any winger fullback that scores instead of him essentially. And I chose to get Ethan King because I wanted the money in the bank. And I should have got Tommy Turbo because he obviously scored like 30 something better. I would have had less money in the bank and Tommy Turbo would have been my 19th man moving on to the season. At that stage, I wasn't really thinking about 18th, 19th man. So when I was thinking about keepers, it was keepers, like keepers or premiums, and it wasn't someone who could stay in my team for the end of the season as an 18th, 19th man and effectively act as a keeper, like I call cash downs keepers because they're staying in my team. So I should have thought about it like that. If I did, I would have got Turbo and I would have been in a much better position because I would have had less money to spend and not had this 900K left over or whatever and had a better scorer that week and not have Ethan King, who's 18th man every week, as a cash down. So that sucks. Definitely should have got Herbie last week for Tallis Duncan because I'm thinking about trading Tallis Duncan this week anyway. It kind of worked. No, it didn't work out. But Dylan Lucas got injured, so I can't remember. No, I didn't get Cleary in the end, so I was kind of happy I kept Duncan at that stage, like towards the middle of the round. Then Cleary scored well, and I ended up playing Latu Fainu over Adam Dewey, so I lost like another 39 points not getting Cleary, and then I could have had Duncan instead of I could have traded Duncan to Herbie instead of playing Drinkwater and got another 46 points or something like that. So points aside, my team construction would have been better with those moves because I would have had Herbie in my team, would have got rid of Duncan, who I'm probably getting rid of now anyway because he's named in the centres. And I did not anticipate him being named in the centres if Ewan Aitken was in the team. Like it makes no sense, and I don't know if that continues. There's every chance they switch it and Ewan Aitken is the centre and Duncan's the edge, but we just don't know. And I don't really want to play Duncan if he's in the edge, in the centres. So yeah, those moves really went against me. And if I had made those right decisions, I'd be ranked about 300th and I would have such a better team construction. But I haven't. You can't live in the past. But that is me. Like, given I don't have Herbie by now, I can't really afford to pay 877k for him. It's not the fact that he's a centre and I don't want to pay that much for a centre, even though I don't. Like, I'll make that clear. I do not want to pay 877k for a true centre, but I think he's worth that price point. It's just, I project him to average about 61.5 for the season, which is still great. It's still one of the best players in the game. But there's guys like Yo who I project to average 64, who's 150k cheaper, who I project to average more, and I'm getting him in either way. But someone like a Tino or Preston, for example, I expect to average 58, and his 695k and should get down even cheaper because he has like a 75 break even or something this week. Let's have a look. Yeah, 72. So like, I could effectively save myself 200k and maybe lose out on 3 points a game, which isn't insignificant, but it's not that significant. It's obviously not worth paying an extra 200k for. I'd be fully set on that plan and absolutely no issues, except for my depth in the centre position and like the winger fullback, I guess, because I'm so top heavy and all the guys I want to bring in that are better value for money are in the mids or edges, which makes it so tough. Like, I'll go over my buy planner and you look at it, I've only got 3 centres and one of them is Adam Doueihi. And at the moment, I have Adam Doueihi in my end of season team, or at least for the next month or so. But we don't know what his new role is going to look like. He could go out and play 50 minutes there, score a 35. Then I have to get rid of him next week. But I also have to lock in trades this week that are using most of that money. And I will still have Cleary and Yo to get in next week. So I'll have money aside, but I don't want to, like, nothing is going to stop me from getting those 2 blokes. So even though I'll have money in the bank, I can't get Herbie if I spend the rest of the money. So it's tough. Having 2 centres isn't ideal. If I trade Doueihi at any stage, I need to bring Herbie in or another centre. Like, I can't roll around with 2 centres. That's very risky. I could, but like, I'd be fine if Kiraz or Fairmore get injured. Like, I could easily trade for someone, but it's if they get injured mid-round or something like that. Like, say if the Titans play on Sunday and he gets injured on the Saturday in training, then I can't bring anyone else in, then I have no backup and then I'm fucked. So that's the scenario I'm scared about. And there's 7 rounds left. So it's possible that that does happen at some stage. Unlikely, yes. Possible, absolutely. Detrimental if it does happen, yes. So it's tough. I need another centre. Well, I don't need another centre, but I'd like another centre, and having Herbie fills that void because there's no other centres I really want. Winger fullback, I'm pretty stacked. Like, that's fine. But one of those keepers is Kiraz, who is effectively only a centre because he can't move from my team. So, like, yeah, effectively he doesn't have that winger fullback duel for me because he's always going to play there. Well, I guess unless I want to play Adam Doueihi, but I don't necessarily view him on the same level as all the other keepers in my team, despite keeping him for the season, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm a bit stranded there, and I also have Campbell, who will probably shift down to winger fullback when Cleary comes back in, but then I have no other half depth. So, like, I'm so top heavy, and with my new plan, I'll be even more top heavy. So it's fine as long as I don't suffer many injuries in winger fullback, centre, halves, but there's 7 rounds to go. You're going to have injuries in those positions. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the right play. He's also like 95% owned. So yeah, and like has probably the most upside of any player in the NRL. So there's 7 weeks I have to dodge him, or maybe 6 because he has a bye. Wait, no, I think there's 8 games left in the season, 8 rounds, and then he has 7 because he has the bye. So 7 games to dodge Herbie is tough when he's 95% owned. If he averages 50 from here on out, that's an absolute win. But if he averages 70, then I'm kind of toast, and I probably don't finish top 1,000. I'm not going to win the comp. So, like, what's the... Like, does it matter? Like, it's all about having... Well, not fun, but, like, if I want to try hit the highest rank possible, which is probably about 100, maybe 150 from now on, I think not owning Herbie goes a long way in that direction. And, yeah, it's a massive risk. It's probably the riskiest thing you can do in fantasy, not owning a top 5 player who's 95% owned. But we're all going to have to make sacrifices of players we don't want. And I think just the fact that he's 877k, I can't bring myself to do it when there's guys like Tino, Preston that I'm not going to be bringing if I do bring in Herbie, who are 200k cheaper, and I project very similar in points. So yeah, I think I'm going to lean against Herbie for the year, which I don't love because like he's fun to watch, right? Like I want to have fun when I'm watching these guys, but it's kind of fun anti-potting him as well. So yeah, I think I'm just going to avoid him. And yeah, things might change if I get an injury to someone expensive. Or like he'll be the first rushed in, assuming I can get the money to work for it. But at this stage, I'm not going to own him, and I'm not bringing him in this week. I'm pretty settled on that. I didn't want to before the bye anyway, but it's such a fun matchup against the Cows. Like that's going to be a shootout, I reckon. So yeah, that leaves me with my plan. So essentially, yeah, Dewey's staying in my team. This first 13 after the Lucas 4 Latrell trade, they're all keepers. That's fine. So I've got 13 and effectively 14, well, definitely 14 with Haas when he's back next week, assuming he's back next week. That's 14 keepers. Adam Dewey, Stewart, and King are staying in my team because, yeah, Dewey, at least short term, he's going to be my 19th man. Well, like, he's my planned 19th man. And Stewart and King are just the cash downs. So it leaves me with 4 players to trade. Tallis Duncan, Damien Cook, Jaden Brayley, Latu Fainu. And it's tough. 2 of them are reserved for Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo, but I don't know which other 2 trades I want to make this week. And I think I want to push this week, even though... yeah, I think I want to push for them this week. I'm not comfortable. It's tough. Latu Fainu and Brayley and Duncan all have low break-evens. So let's have a look. Latu has an 18 break-even. Brayley has a 23 break-even, and Tallis Duncan has a 28 break-even. I think Cook's is the highest. Yeah, 56. So just based on that, Damien Cook's probably the first in line to go, but he's also probably going to be the best scorer, assuming Tallis Duncan plays in centre. Cook's probably the best of the 4 scorers there. So I don't know whether I just flip him next week instead, but I think he's going this week. Like, he's not that much better than the other guys, and I think I do need some cash generation to have as much money in the bank as possible for after my team is done, and then any injuries hit, I need that money to go up to like a Herbie or the next best available. Like, I want that spare money just in case of emergency. So I think I want the cash generation. Jaden Brayley, he's playing hooker, and I project him to play about 60 minutes, so he probably scores about a 45, which is decent. Cook, probably like a 50. Tallis Duncan, if he plays on the edge, it's probably about 55. If he plays in centre, it's probably about a 30. So I think what I'm going to do is wait for... Well, I think I'll bring Crichton in. So let me go back to the buy planner. So just to outlay it. So yeah, four trades to use, like to bring in 4 players of the guys I said. Isaiah Yeo and Nathan Cleary are coming in, who are 1.6 mil. So I've got 1.34 million to spend on the final 2 players. Those players, one of them's almost certainly Angus Crichton. I think just at his price point, he's like, what, 600k, which is crazy. Yeah, 610k. I projected him about 56 from memory. I can't remember exactly, but just at that price point, he's really good. And he has the lowest break even, which doesn't matter, really. Oh, he's only 43. For some reason, I thought it was like 20. That's weird. Ignore that then. But yeah, I think he's the one I want at the cheaper price point, because then it allows me, what's that? 610k. So it gives me 733k to spend on my second keeper. And that's essentially anyone I want, right? So not Herbie, unfortunately, not Hudson Young, and I don't want him anyway. He was the lowest of my premium ranked edges, and I have the top 4 essentially, or 3 of the top 4 if I get Preston. So it leaves me from Isaiah Katoa down. I could wait next week, well, I'd have to wait 2 weeks if I wanted Isaiah Katoa, which I don't necessarily want. I do want him if he didn't have a buy, he'd probably be coming in. But the fact he has a buy, I'm not waiting 2 weeks to buy him. Next best, holy shit, Blake Brayley's 700k, that's crazy. Don't want him, don't want Max King. Jacob Preston, absolutely up there. He's probably one of the 2 I'll bring in. And then scrolling down this list, there's no one else I necessarily want until we get to Tino. Where's Tino? I've gone past him, haven't I? Oh no, he's 616k. So yeah, it's essentially between Tino and Jacob Preston. Tino is absolutely the better value for money. I think I projected him 56.5 and then Preston 58. So I think I'll lean towards that way, but I'm also foregoing Herbie, is it worth just getting the best player on the board? But also, if I get Tino, it gives me more flexibility if I want Herbie down the track. So I think I'm going to get Tino. He's also, well, I don't know. I was going to say he's more likely to get injured, but I don't necessarily want him to get injured, and I probably shouldn't be trading players in based on that, because if I'm doing that, I may as well just get Herbie if I'm trying to get players who are more vulnerable just in order to get Herbie down the track. But yeah, so I think it's going to be Crichton and Tino at this stage is what I'm looking at. It will leave me a little bit too much money in the bank. Like that's, 1.226? Oh, no, not really. So yeah, in that case, I'd have about 120 in the bank after those 4 trades, which I think I'm comfortable with. So I think what I'll do is I'll lock in Crichton because he plays tomorrow. And then I can, probably for Latu, it's ugly. Like I don't want to trade Latu Fainu because I think he'll do well, especially against the Titans, and that is very ugly. Maybe I don't really want to trade Brayley as well when he's got the Wars. Like I don't really want to trade him when he's starting hooker. So maybe I just wait another week and then decide after this week which of the 2 I want. Tino's going to score likely like a 55 to 60, Brayley a 45-ish, Latu maybe a 45, and then I can loop them. So yeah, maybe I just make the one trade, but then I have so much cash in my bank. So I think Cook to Crichton makes sense for sure. Oh yeah, that's fine because I don't have to trade those guys. So yeah, I think Cook to Crichton is what I'll do, and then Tallis Duncan, if he's still centre, I trade him to Tino. I think that makes sense. And then if he's starting edge, I just leave it for this week, and then I can get both of their cash generation. I don't have to play one, so do I? Let's go Cook to Crichton. I don't know. I don't want to play both of them. If I have to play both, I'm not going to do it. Let's just lock this in. I'm a visual learner. Let's say that. Like I'm only spending 1K there, so I still have 800K in the bank, which is crazy. Like that's 3 weeks of that, which is so bad. And I think I had like 3, 4, 500K before that. Yeah, so I'm happy to play Dewey, and then I can loop one of these guys. So that's fine. I could also potentially do a double loop if Ethan King isn't 18th man, which would be good, but chances are he will be. But I think I'm happy with that for now. I'm not in love with having 800K, but like I'm not getting other players instead of Yo and Cleary. So I think I'm comfortable with that. And then Duncan may turn into Tino potentially, kind of hopefully, I guess. But either way, like if Duncan's edge, I'm happy with that. Actually, no, I hope he is edge because then I can wait a week and decide who I want after that. So yeah, Duncan may turn into Tino, then Crichton, Dewey staying, and then Brayley will be Yo, and Latu Fainu will be Cleary. So that will leave me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 18 keepers, and Dewey turns into my 19th man, plus 120K left over. So my final team will be there after next week, and I'll have 6 trades left. Also, not getting Herbie saves me a trade because I'd have to use another one. I'd have to go Dewey down to someone in order to go Tallis Duncan up to Herbie. So I would be at my final team with 5 trades, and it would have been worse value for money getting him in. So apart from positional depth, I'm very happy with this plan. I'm getting another keeper. Like I wanted Tino, and I didn't think I was going to get him, and now I can. Same as Preston, but I want the money in the bank. So I'm happy with it. I'm essentially going Tino instead of Herbie and getting an extra 260K, saving a trade as well. And I'm only foregoing having an extra centre in my team, which I think makes a lot of sense for my team. I hate it not owning Herbie. It'll be a terrible watch again tonight, but I'm happy with the plan. And yeah, next week is when I'll probably climb the ranks. If I can hold ranks this week, I'll be happy. A lot of that will be determined by Herbie tonight. Actually, I could make ranks if people don't have Cleary and Yo, and also if they own Cleary and Haas, then they're kind of screwed. Even Yo and Haas, that's 2 mids gone. So yeah, it could be a decent round. It's probably, a lot of it's going to be on the back of Dewey, Brayley and Latu. I'm happy that I get to loop Latu Fainu and Jaden Brayley, so I can take the better scorer there. Well, effectively, hopefully take the better scorer. If Latu pumps out a 50, I'm happy to take that. I'll get a little bit more cash generation from them. Like hopefully they both make an extra 20K for me. Then I'll have about 160K or so sitting in there. So if any injuries strike, then I can get Herbie. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It's scary, but I think that you got to take some risks in fantasy if you want to like get the highest rank possible. And yeah, I could slip down to 2,000, 2,500 if Herbie goes bananas from here on out. But on the flip side, if he doesn't, even if he averages 50 or so, I'm going to be so far ahead of those other teams just based on that I could finish like top 150, 200. Who knows? It's going to be a volatile swing. I'm going to be a dad. I don't care about this fantasy stuff if Herbie scores a 70. But no. Yeah, it's scary, but I mean, the rest of my team looks good. I'm happy with where it's at. I don't love having 800k in there for another week, but there's not much I can do without forcing stuff in, and getting Herbie in would make my team worse. So yeah, happy with that. It's another Herbie show. I think last week we talked about Herbie for like 30 minutes, didn't get him, and then yeah, this has happened. But I'm happy. Let us know what you guys are doing in the comments, and thank you heaps for all the support with my news in the last video. I'm about to go to the dog park. So I'll respond to all the comments there. Just had an appointment this morning, so I've been busy. But yeah, I'll respond to them now, and we'll see you tomorrow. I probably won't get a video out tomorrow. I'm on parental leave, so I'll get one out tomorrow morning with the recap, and hopefully it's recapping Herbie's 12-point performance in fantasy, not 3 tries. Until then, we'll see ya and enjoy your weekend. Bye. It's not weekend, it's Thursday. Bye.